Hello, my name is Daniel Diaz and I'll be presenting my feature video for FFQR-12. It was a front-end story to generate a dynamic question block component to render any food item that is returned from the food item database, dynamically rendering input components depending on each individual item. Really quick to see what actually went down. This is the home page running locally. I'm going to enter a valid questionnaire ID to begin. Got the instructions. And then here we have a question block for breast milk. How frequent is this being served to the child? How many times per day, per week? These are required fields. And then using the same component, but since Apple has additional options, we'll say 4 servings of apple per day. And what were these serving sizes like? So we'll say, let's say 4 ounces. And what type of apple was this? Fresh, baby food, or jar canned? And we'll just say baby food. And then we have one for milk with chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla. Same thing, we'll say 5 times in the week. Serving size according to this data, we'll say 4 ounces of this. And this is an optional entry to add additional sugar in teaspoons. So we'll say 2 teaspoons of sugar. Okay, so that's basically this question block component will now render any item. Depending on what's returned from the database, it'll dynamically render these components on a case-by-case basis. Take a quick look at the code that was changed. Basically, I created an FFQ item model for the front end that basically just takes a name and defaults everything else to its basic default state, serving options, empty list, types, empty list, sugar setting, false. And then from the questionnaire page, I created a property called food items, which is an array of food items. And then I call this service, which will do the endpoint request to get these, create a food item service, and it's here. Right now, this will eventually make the API call, but right now I'm just mocking this data. So I'm returning a food item 1, which is breast milk, another food item for apple with specific types and serving options, and same situation for milk with chocolate, except I'm setting the sugar setting to true, and I return these in an array. The questionnaire page will, on initialization, will load up these FFQ items into its property, and on the HTML, we do a basic ng4, so for every item in the food items, we're going to render this question block and then add a little space. And in that question block, the real interesting part is, this looks insane to present, but basically a row for each. The first one is the only required one. So here is the name of the food item, and then things that we absolutely require, frequency, and a frequency input. But the rest are conditional. So this table row, we're going to render it if the servings options has a length greater than 1. Because if it's just 1, then it's the default case, in which case we already know that from the database, but there's nothing for the user to select. And the same happens with food types. And then this is also conditional, depending on the hash sugar setting, whether it's true or false. And that's it for FFQR-12. Thank you.